Good. Variable traders, how's everybody doing today? Welcome. All right. Sounds looking good on YouTube, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name's Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is April 8th, 2020. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so starting off with our SPY, overall price remains elevated. We continue to see that the markets wish to push higher and higher. And while we are at some notable resistance points that have reacted in the past, looks like my camera went away. Give me 1 second. Am I still showing on the webcam? Frozen. Okay. We'll go ahead and try this real quick. Okay. All right, so we'll see if that continues to happen. If it does, then we may just go sans webcam, but that's okay. So SPY remains elevated at all-time highs. Overall, based on just a general pattern structure, the only resistance we can really find at this time is marked as our channel high. And while we are sitting right at that resistance point in pre-market, you can see that we actually had a slight gap up this morning, and the pre-market is looking as if it's starting to respect that resistance point. While we are sitting here, we did consolidate over the course of a couple of days, putting in a pretty tight range between 405 and about 407.25. So real nice consolidation, potential second leg of a bull flag breakout. The only issue is it's very challenging to get an extended breakout to continue much higher without a lot of momentum behind it. So you kind of think about maybe shorts continuing to cover, thinking that that resistance was going to hold and then it just continues to push higher, or bulls are willing to step into this extended price in the markets and just push through to new price levels. You know, they're doing more price exploration higher and higher in the market. So overall, markets are a bit extended, and what we're looking to see is there going to be a point where the markets want to pull back? And what I have here is just a 10-day, 30-minute chart. It represents just recent price action, and therefore the volume profile, which I've added to the chart, is not going to have as much data inside of it. From this perspective, things are actually looking pretty good in the short term because volume and value was placed for so long at about 406.25, the middle of this range, that breaking through the top of the range and potentially breaking the VA high of about 408.30 is actually a bullish push inside of a 10-day range. We noted the fact that 405 was a risk to bulls in the fact that there wasn't a lot of value placed below us. We basically had what is sometimes called a gap, but really it's just a pocket of a lack of volume. And when you see this, you don't necessarily want to buy any dips in here until you get to a shelf of value. And we noted one around 400. So The idea now is that we're at resistance. It looks like they're fading some of that in pre-market, but in the short term, this is a VPOC breakout. It's a move away from value in the short term. So we're once again seeing short-term potential for higher prices, but long-term we're at resistance. So we have to balance out who's going to win today and really see, are we going to become even more extended with a breakout of our channel resistance, a back test, and then potentially a parabolic move in the market. So some things that we want to keep on watch today is, if the SPY is going to be strong, we want to see the Q strong. The Qs have been pushing higher and higher throughout this sort of bull breakout. And I went and took this off, but just for some context, we had some consolidation, push off the lows, consolidation, breakout. And what we're doing inside of the Qs right now is we are coming back into, once again, some pretty major resistance. For context, if you draw a line from the COVID crash lows, move that over, to the most recent inflection point, which was right before the election, the Qs had lost this as support. They attempted to hold on the third test of this level, broke through, and then now we're getting what is essentially a back test of this support turn resistance. So the Qs have some proving to do today. If they're going to go higher, then they need to show us that they can close above this line. And if they can't, this is a great area to consider for the potential of a back test and a fail. Ultimately, if you're looking to be short technology, this could be a spot where, kind of selling the rip instead of buying the dip is an opportunity for us to look at. So we will see how this plays out once again, just like the SPY. But pre-market's looking really strong. We're getting a little bit of trending action in pre-market, and we had that consolidation phase, just like the SPY, albeit not quite as long nor as well-defined. It was just a couple days of very tight consolidation range in the Qs. Short term, once again with a 10-day 30-minute, looking at the volume profile. As I mentioned, VPOC is not necessarily where we just came from, but there is a huge shelf of volume and value placed here. So this move away in the short term is bullish. From the perspective of intraday traders, or maybe a couple of days worth of swing, this is a move away from value. And the only thing, once again, we have to worry about is some longer term resistance. It's sitting right above us. And while this can provide some intraday opportunity, it may provide additional opportunity if the market does round and start to reverse at these major resistance points. So be thinking about that intraday today. We may get that first morning push, sort of like an hour or two of relative trending in some of these markets. And then when we hit resistance, we may see that roll over and fade. And that would be, 2 trade opportunities just today that we can take advantage of. A loss of 330 in the Qs, which was the low of that consolidation, that puts us back into a daily gap. And there's really just not a lot of value placed here. It's another pocket that we're afraid of. So bulls were able to consolidate and hold here, which is great. But on a fade, especially if they lose this shelf of value, they are likely going to target some pretty low prices in the Qs, maybe even 325. So keep that in mind. Don't necessarily be one-sided in terms of your trade ideas. And keep in mind that we are coming into some major spots that could be challenging for the market to clear during this extended push. And then finally, looking at the IWM, One concern that we saw in the IWM yesterday, we noted that it wasn't really structurally as bullish as the rest of the markets. The IWM did have a selling day yesterday amidst the SPY and the Qs being relatively flat or just consolidating. We did break through both the 20 and the 50 on the IWM, the 20 and 50 moving averages. And some of that selling was met with a little bit of buying into the close and into the pre-market. So we're starting to hold this very short-term, I would say, uptrend from the lows. We've also got this retracement that I keep extending just to see if it acts as another area of interest as it has in the past. We've had multiple inflections off of this slanted resistance point right here, and right here. So as this market pulls back even further, I think short-term bulls are looking at maybe using this as a place to start to build pressure and start to tighten up our range. You can see that price is starting to coil right underneath resistance at 227.50. But from the perspective of some of these other markets, this is a weak market. And the challenge here is, if the SPY and the Qs do roll over, will this market break down? Will everything sort of correlate to the downside? So that's something of interest to keep in mind. I think the short-term trade opportunity is sort of using yesterday's low as a potential stop loss range, just where you want to define your risk. Because if they are going to carry it forward, they're going to come back and test this upper resistance point. And looking at our 10-day, 30-minute, from this perspective, which is only past 10 days worth of action, VPOC is at 220, which, if you recall, on the 30-day, VPOC is roughly at 220, even with 30 days worth of price action. Compared to just 10 days, it's still 220. It's a very high volume, it's a balanced zone for IWM. And when the market continues to be drawn to those prices, it's showing market participants that there's not enough momentum to move away from value. We can have a couple days away and then we come back. We can have a couple days away to the downside and then we come back. So it's constantly a target as we oscillate through that price. If you're bullish, if there's other reasons to be bullish, other aspects of the market that provide a bullish thesis, you definitely want to target resistance points from 220. And if you're bearish, we'll see them break through 220 and start to gain some bearish momentum and volume to the downside, targeting potentially some of these recent lows from the past sessions. So IWM, probably not the best place overall, risk to reward. What I'm noting here is that if the SPY and Qs do roll over today, IWM is likely to break through the short-term support that we've drawn. And that is once again, another tradable activity. We'll just see how far it's going to go and whether it's actually correlated. So while normally we look at the three main index products, I do want to bring up the Dow for today. And I want to do it from the perspective of it's a set of stocks that ultimately has been very strong, very bullish. And sometimes people don't look at them quite as often. So I just wanted to provide it as another opportunity for people to explore. So I'm just using an ETF here, the DIA for the diamonds. And if you're unfamiliar, I'll pull up just a short list here on my watch list. And and I'll sort by price. So some major components in the Dow are going to be stocks like UNH, which is healthcare, Goldman Sachs, which is financials, HD, which is consumer discretionaries, Boeing, which is going to be your industrials, and then stocks like Microsoft, your larger tech sector. And then obviously it goes down the list from there. The weightings here are relative to the price of the stock, which is why it's a little odd to compare it with technical analysis. The structure of the Dow makes it a little bit more, I would say, interpretive of where price is headed. But some things that are interesting in the Dow is if we go to our 4-hour chart, we have a nice uptrend that's starting to form with the 20 as a rough area of support. We're continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows, just like some of our other markets. We did break through all-time highs, which is notable. Similar to the SPY, the Dow is performing relatively well, and it's due to a couple of stocks that we'll get to in just a moment. And then the Dow is also putting in some nice consolidation, not only over time, but also over price. It actually pulled back a little in price, and that offered a potential another dip buying opportunity to target all-time highs. What I like about the Dow, or what has been so nice about the Dow, is some stocks that aren't necessarily on everybody's watch have been outperforming the market in general. And maybe to some people's surprise, not to everyone, stocks like HD. HD has been on this absolute, it's not even parabolic, it's just sort of a straight line bullish uptrend following the 20 on the 4-hour and just barely offering a pullback. What I'm seeing here is that HD on the daily may offer a short-term sort of, I would say, like pullback structure. We did see that shooting star and then sort of a indecision doji. And when I look at the 4-hour chart, we are at risk of losing the 20 potentially today. You know, this ignition bar that we had over the past couple days has pulled back, pretty much given up the entirety of that bar, and it gives us sort of a stop loss zone with the all-time high being the risk. So while the Dow is strong, HD is potentially tired, and that, you know, once again is that fade opportunity. We can get really good risk to reward if we want to fade some of these markets. Another stock we want to keep on watch, if that is to play out, is Microsoft. Microsoft did recently break its all-time high. It did so on strong volume and with pretty much large range, what's it called? Range expansion bars, you know, ignition bars for the breakout. So if we were to look for a fade, we definitely want to see the QQQs start to fade, and that will help with the Microsoft pullback. We also want to see stocks like Goldman Sachs really start to break down. And we did have some nice pullback in the financial sector, some of it facilitated by what happened with Archegos. You know, certain financial stocks were hit by that. You know, the news kind of facilitated some of that negative press. And with Goldman Sachs, we did pull back significantly, and we have been consolidating, but we're seeing a pretty tight range in the 4-hour. You know, you can almost draw this as your pennant structure, your wedge, whatever you want to call it. And if markets do roll over, I would expect Goldman Sachs to make a decision here. It doesn't necessarily have to be to the downside, but I just want to see it get out of this tightened range and make some sort of momentum push. So a couple of opportunities here. You know, obviously with HD, it's a bit extended. You know, you could call that a bit extended. I would say that's pretty extended. You definitely don't want to jump in long because it's hard to define your risk at these levels. But when targeting the downside, a lot of things have to be in your favor to catch that fade play. You don't want to get run over, by upwards momentum. And obviously you want to define your risk really well. So some potential opportunity in HD. Another one that may facilitate it as well, but it's been relatively strong, has been McDonald's. McDonald's had this nice consolidation over the course of 4 to 5 months. We broke out with this ignition bar. We had a nice resting bar. Some call this a 3-bar play, or just sort of a breakout, holds, and then continuation. And this played out perfectly. I mean, it took a couple of days to kind of chop through, but we're already right at all-time highs as of yesterday. In fact, yeah. Well, 2 days ago, we broke all-time highs, and then we actually made another all-time high yesterday. So these stocks have been helping the Dow. They've also been helping the SPY. All of these stocks are major players in the SPY. They're just not big tech, and big tech has been strong. So the SPY has big tech on its side. It's had some consumer staples on its side. And it's also had discretionaries and some support from the financials, albeit it has pulled back recently. So stocks like JP Morgan, which is in the Dow, potential breakthrough of the 20 and potential to target the all-time high. I'd want to see Goldman Sachs make a decision if that were to take place to kind of help the financial sector. And then anything industrial has been starting to get bought up over time. Honeywell, Triple M, pretty much all sitting at all-time highs. And Caterpillar, while it did pull back from a pretty explosive move off the lows, you could see just how strong this rally has been. While we did pull back from this recent all-time high, once again, another dip buying opportunity off the 20, and we're pretty much right at all-time highs once again. So some things to keep in mind today. Lots of stuff looks strong from the perspective of recent price activity, but the intraday and the structure of some of these index products is that we are extended, we've consolidated for a couple of days, and we're pushing into resistance. So will the bulls simply break through resistance over a couple of days of consolidation and basically show us another breakout? Or will they hit resistance on a little bit of a trend and start to roll over? We will see. There are a couple of economic events today. I think Jerome Powell is speaking later today. I want to say at 11. Norm will likely have that information a little bit more than I do. So markets, typically don't do much whenever they're anticipating a more binary event. Unfortunately for day traders, that can lead to a little bit of chop or just a lot of indecision with certain SPY following stocks. And until we get that news to come out, the markets may react to that. That might be the catalyst that leads to the rollover, or it might be a catalyst that leads to a breakout. We'll obviously wait and see. So with the last couple of minutes, the only thing I wanted to discuss is we've had a little bit of activity in the crypto sector. I'll go ahead and just bring up a simple daily chart of BTC over USD. So Bitcoin has had some obvious challenges getting over the 60,000 level. We had this first breakout bringing us to about 61.7, and we obviously faded through that all the way back down to close to 50,000. We had another push, putting in potentially a lower high on the daily. And then now, if we dig into our 4-hour charts, we can see that as this has been consolidating, we did have this attempted breakout. It is relatively underperforming some of the other markets that we've seen. So at this time, if you're looking at or trading crypto, the Bitcoin chart is overall consolidating. It's a very long-winded and not very momentum-driven range that this market is putting in. But the last thing that you want to see from the bull perspective is a loss of some of these short-term supports. Because what we're getting on the daily right now is the potential for the 9 and the 26 exponential moving averages, any sort of aggressive moving average, we're getting the potential for this to cross. And while we did have an event like that in the past, where the price facilitated the potential for a cross, and then we obviously got a breakout from here, this has been slowly forming itself with not a lot of bullish momentum. So I'm keeping an eye on this space. We did see some weakness in the equity market due to the fact that Bitcoin was selling most of yesterday. So stocks like Riot, Can, Mara really strong overall, but pulling back yesterday with a pretty significant sell day. I want to see if that's the predecessor to the potential for Bitcoin putting in that lower daily high and breaking through our support at 50,000. This would obviously occur over time. And from the perspective of the weekly, if I delete some of these lines, the weekly does still look healthy. We're still sitting above the 9 EMA. So that pullback to 50,000 would potentially put in a double bottom if it were to bounce, or a breakthrough could lead us to the next support zone, which at this point would have to be based on price around 42,000. So that first major high into the pullback, we broke through and then we pulled back roughly to 42,000. This could be once again another support opportunity for more long follow through. And then on the monthly has been extended for a while. This market tends to become extended on the monthly during cyclical bull and cyclical bear markets. We're definitely in a cyclical bull market due to some of the halving and the overall sentiment of Bitcoin. But from the monthly perspective and just general technical analysis, we are extended, and therefore a pullback would just be monthly consolidation, a monthly attempt to come back to support. So whether or not this shakes out, we will see. It was notable yesterday with how weak Bitcoin appeared in both the equity markets and on the price itself. So I want to make sure we're looking here to see if there's some opportunity, because if we do get a flush in the crypto markets, the equity markets will have a similar heavy pullback that we could take advantage of. And obviously, if we get that false breakdown, once again, another great opportunity to consider buying. And then, the next leg higher could be in our future, where we'll target an extension from some of this consolidation that we've been doing. So we will see. Things are sort of on that edge of, yes or no. Are we going higher? Are we going lower? Everything's really tight in a range in certain areas. Yesterday, I mentioned gold and silver. It looks like they're starting to get out of their range. Crude is still trapped between about 57 and I want to say 61 or 62. So, for now, that one hasn't moved, but gold and silver are starting to make the push. Keep an eye on those as the dollar pulls back, and we will see how things go. So my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Hope y'all have a great Thursday trading session. Hope y'all are really enjoying everything we've been providing. Off to Carlos and Norm with pre-market prep, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Pardon for my camera. I was trying to get it going here this morning, but seems it doesn't want to play nice today. So apologies for that. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. It's one of the best days of the year. How are
Hey,
you?
it sure is. It
It's
sure
the start of the
is.
Masters.
Yep, it sure is. And I know how much you like and how much you like golf. And that's all I heard this morning on Bloomberg Radio. Plenty of times that was being mentioned. So big stuff happening today there, of course. Um, with that said, we're also having a very nice time in these markets as well, as Jared was talking about. I mean, just look at the push we've been getting above some of these highs here. Norm will get into that in a bit, but later. But before we do that, let's jump into our watch list from yesterday, starting with XL going real extra large here yesterday. Let's go into our 5 minute right over here. Let's get here it is. So again, big
I,
action
I
in the
just want to give Jared a
yeah.
shout out. When I said it's one of the best days of the year, his comment in here is priceless. He says, "I thought Norm didn't like seeing Carlos's face."
Oh, that
That's
is
awesome.
great. That's a good
That's
one.
awesome.
Let's give Jared a big thumbs up as well for the again for engineering the markets, guys. He's doing an
Absolutely.
amazing job. And
Encourage him to keep doing it. Hit that like button
yes,
on YouTube.
yes, absolutely. So thank you for that. All right, guys. So XL here, huge takeoff here in the pre-market was very active. We knew it was going to be fun yesterday. We had it on our watch list, and just look at the break as we were getting here. Very early on, comes up to the high of the pre-market, which we had 9:30. Beautiful breakout there. Get a small pullback, a chance to get in this one. Not easy because it is very extended, but on the 5 minute, on the 1 minute, you can see some opportunities. And just look at the takeoff to the next level that we had, 996. Not a coincidence. You get a deeper pullback this time. Right now, you're very extended, and then look at the action here. It just takes off, breaking through that 996 and almost to our 1086 level that we had. So again, these levels, guys, are just magic, as Andrew will call them. And you can see here almost to that to there, but 1075, pretty close. And then from there, it just slams down. But again, this was the move here, guys. Very nice early on, good action. Now, I show we had shares for short on this. Now, I don't recall if we had yesterday, but man, you could have taken this for short as well. But again, just got to be careful. Sometimes shorting strong stocks, like Brian will say. Here was CCL, another one that popped up pretty good as well. Again, we had a lot in the morning that after the bell popped up nicely. This one took a little bit of a pullback. Too deep below the VWAP here, so that could have been a little concerning, but does come back up and shoots up and then becomes a short as well. Again, I think the market was also selling off at this time, so that kind of helped it a little bit for some of these sell-offs. Here's Viacom, and we talked about this, guys, right? We mentioned, Norm and I, that this one could be choppy at the open, and look at this. It was just that. I mean, their dailies holding a level of support. We talked about that. We were doing levels, and just look at the definition of chop here, guys. Every candle overlapping the previous candle. It was just nasty, and then eventually settles down, and you do get this nice drop here below the VWAP. That could have been a nice entry for a short there, but it's tough taking a short here. After you've seen all of this, right? Because you're making decisions based on the information you have at hand. That could be tough there. Maybe waiting for the break of this, right? And a hold probably, but that could be a tough trade. Here's RMO. I didn't pay close attention to RMO. We had so much other stuff here that was fun to watch. RMO for the most part did drop down. Looks like popped up and tried to get going here. 1254 level that we had, was that high of the pre-market? Yeah. So it does hit high of the pre-market and then slams down below the VWAP again. So and it became a beautiful short after that. After it breaks down below the 1149 again a second time. This time a couple of times to try to test that and it couldn't get above that. That's a beautiful slam down there on the 9 moving average. So that looked pretty good. That was nice. CAN, I had this one on Dex. I know Bitcoin's been very active, which they're up Bitcoin pretty good this morning as well. Here, but it wasn't clean. The price action was really all over the place. And again, this stock, the volume at times doesn't come in. It didn't seem like it had it yesterday. It was very weak on the volume, so I didn't take a stab at this one. Now, here is probably the play of the day yesterday, at least one of them, aside from XL, or if you're putting your toes into some UTME action, which is just insane. Apple. Apple was just unbelievable how clean this thing was. It does some profit taking, right? It does drop down a little bit, and we expect that usually when stocks gap up, like especially like someone like Apple, and then just look at the explosion here, it's just breaking every single level and ending the day. What was it? 120? Did it hit 128? No, I didn't. 127. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did hit 128, right on there. So just again, it really, really nice Apple. We've been talking about this one as well because their daily has been so nice, right? Look at the breakout a couple of days ago, consolidation day here, another breakout yesterday, and they're up almost half of a percent this morning already with some volume. So again, tech sector is looking really good, and Apple is leading the way there. So, all right, let's get into some numbers. I know some numbers were coming out this morning. Norm, what do we have? What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, buddy. So SPY, I mean, we're sitting all-time highs here. And Q's, the similar boat. So this morning, we've edged up. We're just under all-time highs on the Q's from like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, I think. But the SPY is at all-time highs right now and higher than. Right now, it's come off this morning just a hair, but it's still higher than it's still higher than it's been in the past. We did, just like you said, we had initial jobless claims and continuing claims at 8:30. Both numbers on there were a little bit worse than expected. There's been a little bit of pullback on SPY since then, but I don't know how much that's going to affect things. There's a lot of volatility in those numbers right now. So we have, just a reminder, we do have Jay Powell speaking at noon. He is going to be giving a speech on the global economy. Usually what he says can have a tendency to move the market quite a bit. I don't know that this one's going to have the same, because I don't think he's going to be focusing quite as much on the U.S. economy. Watch me say that and this have some dramatic impact. But just something to keep an eye on. If you're trading at that time, keep in mind that things might be a little bit volatile. You might want to monitor that speech of the Benzinga squawk in the room. So that's what we got going on, bud.
All right, thank you, Norm. Okay, guys, let's get to our list this morning. We'll remove our watch list from yesterday. We're going to keep Apple on here because definitely in play today. One that you do want to watch today. And then let's get rid. Oh, can I not do that? Can I leave one? Okay, that's all right. We'll just delete everything and we'll just add Apple. Okay. Here we go. There we go. All right, so put Apple on here, guys. As we mentioned already, 1 million shares traded. This thing is just trading lovely this morning as well. So we'll keep an eye on this one. In our gapping up list, which we have quite a few on here, 2.1 million shares float, and this one is up 40% this morning. VERY. So very on here is up 40%. Was up a lot higher earlier this morning, is giving some back. Didn't have quite the volume as it does now, right? You can see the volume coming in here at 7 a.m. You're now sitting at 1.7 million shares traded. So this is a lower flow stock. Obviously 2.1 is very low flow stock, guys. I'm going to put it down here on our risky pile. Be very, very cautious with this one this morning.
Yeah, so one note on this. This is one of those things that's a little bit crazy. This one, I can't find a catalyst on it, and and even news services are pointing out that at no specific news seen. 2 million share float reeks of pump and dump, or some kind of insider deal or something. Just be careful on that.
Yeah, and as you're mentioning that, I just noticed some of these prices on here. Take a look at this one here. You're sitting at 16.23. I'm just going to throw a line there, and the bottom of this candle is 13.88. Even lower if you count the wick, 13.55. And that's happening with 28,000 shares traded, not million, 28,000. That means anybody can take a trade here, push that trade in front of you, and you could be down $3 just like that, approximately. So that's scary. I know this is the pre-market, and it's going to get better with volume coming in, but still, this seems like it's a dangerous one to be on the lookout for today. So let's take a look at ATNF this morning, 9.1 million shares traded. Oh, my trade ideas is not linked. Somebody asked me how to do this yesterday, so we'll go through it again. I know we have done it a few times here, but just have to do it anyways. You go to external linking on your menu, hit add link, and then you go over to your where you want this to populate the ticker. Hit shift and then hit OK, and then that's it. You're all linked up there on whatever. And you can put this on whatever. You can put it on here. You can put it on anywhere where you can input an actual text, right? So ATNF this morning's not looking too good, guys. It is up 13.5. I do not like this daily at all. It is 9.1 million shares float, 1.4 at the moment. I'm not sure. It will have to really get better as far as pre-market action and a price action. Let's see if that can happen. HOFV. Now this one we've seen in the past, and it has traded actually very clean. I think either Andrew or Brian have traded this in our chat room as well. So this is looking good. It is not a low flow stock, although it's on a lower price here, sitting at 12. I'm sorry, at a 510 this morning. It is actually a 37 million shares flow. So definitely in play, guys. 3.2 million shares right now. Norm, is there any news on this one? Because this is moving pretty good.
They've got a partnership with DLPN, which is also up here on the list. Next one down, and they've got NFT news.
Oh, okay. I remember these two were active together last time as well. So, okay. All right, there we go. So we'll see what turns out there. Here's Mara, guys. Bitcoin again continues to just rip higher. I think they did well last night and also overnight. It looks like they're doing pretty good there. Up 5.3, 469,000 shares traded. Now I had this one on my list yesterday, the day before. I can't remember. And man, the price action was just was not clean. It was very choppy as far as the move. So again, we'll have to see, but this is definitely in play this morning. That could be a good Bitcoin one to watch today. Next, we have GameStop. They are up 5.2. Again, entertainment purposes type stock. I won't be watching this, just for fun, but I don't see it too crazy. We've seen better, that's for sure. Out of GameStop.
They've announced that Ryan Cohen, who is one of the founders of Chewy and was part of the initial catalyst months ago, getting this thing moving since he was taking a stake, he is going to become, I believe, chairman here pretty soon.
Gotcha. All right. So I do remember hearing that as well. We'll see what happens there. We'll put it on here. Let's see what goes on. NCTY 7.2 million shares flow. We've seen this one in our list before. It doesn't trade very well, so I'm going to skip on this one. I think today we have some other good ones that we can keep an eye on. GameStop we looked at. Lissy is not doing a whole lot. Skip to the next one. CHPT. This is 3.9, 128. We had this before and traded it before, but not looking too good today. NTST also not looking great. Volume again, you got a nice pop breaking out of that 1920 high of yesterday, 3.7 right now, but pre-market is not great at the moment. So let's stop here in our gapping up list. Let's see what's gapping down. Only 3 on our list today. We have Box. And since we can see here, Box this morning down 6.7. And if I recall, Norm, I think this is one that does not trade very well. I think we had this on our list before.
It generally does not. If I didn't look too closely, I think they got an investment, $500 million out of KKR, and they're going to use that to buy back shares. So, it's
okay. All right, it could be a hit or miss. I don't know how much that's going to move this, but again, I think we find better stuff today. ASO, this one is down 5.3. Pre-market is not clean though, and their daily is not as exciting to keep this one on deck anyway. Look how choppy this is. So yeah, let's move on. AMRS, this one is down 5.2. 140,000 shares traded. Interesting daily. Yeah, this could be something. Let's put it as a possible. We'll come back and double check that there, see what's going on. It looks like they're trying to close this gap down here and head back up towards that previous day close line.
It's on a secondary, so maybe, and it's been a pretty high flyer recently from $2 a few months ago up to a 10 bagger on that, trading at 22, 23. So they're going to take advantage of that. Maybe there's enough behind it that it's going to close the gap. Like you're saying, it is getting a little strength this morning as traders come into the market. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on this one. So that was a good one there. Let's stop here. Norm, what do you like this morning so far?
Still looking, brother.
All All right, excellent. Let's take a look in our chat here, starting with Hamish. You're giving us CCL. CCL was nice. Was it yesterday, the day before? It might have been yesterday. I think it had a nice pot, a nice breakout. Someone called it out in the chat room. Yeah, it was yesterday. So here's a nice breakout I had yesterday here, guys. Beautiful stuff happening there on CCL, and then the slam down. Here, pre-market action right now, only 600,000, but it does look good. It does look clean as far as the pre-market action. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. Yeah, this could be a good one. This could be a good one. I wish I had more volume, but let's see where it leads up here. Now I know NCLH was the one with the news last time, and that was trading a little bit cleaner. But today they're not doing a whole lot, so we'll skip on that one. All right, heading down, we have Roku. Let's see what's happening there. Roku this morning, yeah, still pretty much quiet, same like yesterday. And yesterday you didn't get a whole breakout type thing, right? You did get a little push up here, but again, when you had Apple on your list, this is probably not the best one to look at in that situation. They still continue to just slam above this area of resistance for a possible breakout. So I think it could still be a great possible to have on deck, maybe for later in the afternoon. I don't know if in the morning you're going to get something going on there, but we'll see. Their daily, I agree with you guys, does look very good. Let's take a look at SQ. This morning they are also slamming up against an area of resistance here, like many of these type companies are doing lately. They just come getting a bit of a nice bounce back. Jair's been talking about this as well, his Engineering the Market show at 8 a.m. I'm not sure about SQ. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, that's for sure, and their volume is not great, which is typical of them not to have great volume in the pre-market. I'm just going to pass on them for now. Now, Microsoft, on the other hand, although this stock doesn't trade very well at times, the last couple of days, we've seen some pretty good intraday trading out of Microsoft. They've been very, very strong. This morning, they're up 1% right now with not so much volume, which is fine for them. Let's see if this continues. That could be another good tech company to watch alongside Apple. Apple is definitely my favorite. I think the liquidity you're getting on this one, the movements on this one, if the queues are running, Apple's going to be the one I'm going to be looking for. Let's head down here. LI, what do we have there? LI, well, this is running up. LI right now up 3.5, 973,000 shares traded. Daily's getting a nice bounce off of 22. This could be interesting. I like this one. Normally I don't keep this one, but today it looks decent. Heading on down, a couple of people saying LI, so that's good. Michael, you're giving us win. Let's see what we have going on there. No volume right now. That's the only thing that concerns me here. Also, the volume you're getting on this does not seem like it trades very well. I don't think I ever watched this one closely, but I'll be concerned with this type of volume unless they have some kind of catalyst that's going to make this explosive. I don't see anything good there at the moment. All right, heading to the next one, Roku, we have Rice. So let's see what's going on. Mark is giving us Rice here. Rice is going off too, 17% up this morning, 1.4. Daily is crappy, must be a low flow, but that's okay. If we can get an action on the low flow side, that'd be nice. 23, so shy of 20 million, but again, right on borderline. But this one doesn't move a whole lot, because if you look at this move here, I thought it was bigger than what it is, but it's only a dollar move, which is not bad for $10 stock, but that's great actually. But just comparing to the size of the flow, you would think that would be a little bit higher. This is moving nice. Any news on this today? I'm gonna put it as I don't think it's really a risky stock like that. I think it's just gonna be a regular stock really. I don't see the price action being that scary at the moment, right? I think this is manageable as far as risk. So we'll put it here.
It was last night. It's a SPAC, and they announced their merger partner last night. So that's okay. What's
all right. So this could be good. This could be nice. All right, let's head down. What do we have? So wind, yeah, volume is the problem. I agree. You gotta have volume. I know Twitter was being talked about a lot today. I lost my spot, so I'm gonna continue here with Twitter. Twitter, guys, what do we have? So I don't have volume though. We're talking about it this morning on the radio, but I don't see great volume here for the moment. So we'll skip on that for now. LI we looked at. Snap was also very active yesterday, guys. At the moment, I don't see a whole lot happening here, but it started off like this yesterday too. It didn't have great volume, and it just took off. So maybe a possible for a continuation. Let's put on Snap there and head here to see what else we have. Twitter, yes, no good right now at the moment. Wind is no good. Rice, let's see what's cooking. All right, perfect. Let's check Facebook. Let's take a look there. Yeah, Facebook, like many of these tech companies, type tech companies, right? Are Apple, those these companies been beat up for a while. This was doing very well. Volume right now is okay, but I think Facebook could be a good one to watch. I think this can be all right. 133 right now is up almost 1%. But they're daily, man. Look at the move on Apple over the last couple of weeks, just insane. So let's see if they have some more juice left in their tank here to keep going. Let's take a look over on our YouTube chat. What do we have this morning? ATNF. We did look at that one.
Yeah.
We have it down here as a risk. I don't like it though, guys. I really do not like this one. Even as a low float risky stock, I'm gonna get rid of it. It just looks nasty. Very looks a little better. A little better here with their pre-market action, better volume. I think their price action looks nicer. You just got to be careful with the risk, though. This is 2.1 million shares flow. I don't care how great this looks. I probably won't be touching this. Just the fact how low that flow is. Okay, what else we have? IMMP. This one gapping up 14.8, 4.4 million shares traded. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. It just looks, I don't know, it looks very, very unstable. I don't know what the word is to describe this one, but I'm just concerned with the way this looks at the moment. I can't pick it out right now, but you know what? We'll put it here. We'll come back to it. I'm just not liking the daily on it. Something about it is just doesn't look great.
It's foreign, which makes the daily look funky. It's part of it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
It's an Australian biotech.
Oh my God, that's a double whammy there. And just look at this volume here, and then nothing. Yeah, let's skip this. Okay, box we looked at again. It's just not great right now. UTME. Yeah, this is
I
madness.
ain't touching that, but that is wild. The IPO price was $4 2 days ago.
Yes. No, I meant to ask you. So, if the people that buy into the IPO beforehand, right? Are they stuck for 90 periods or 60-day period before they can sell?
There are different rules, different things, depending on restrictions of who they are. Insiders and stuff, they're usually locked up for 90 days. Investment banks may have a different set of rules, may have a different length of time. So
yeah, I'll be
just kind of gotta look
scratching
into it.
myself if I was locked in here in this thing.
Well, I mean,
110.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't it open at it opened around 10. It IPO'd at 4. It opened in the low teens.
Yeah.
It closed that first day at 35 or so. It gapped up again. It got over $100 before pulling back a little bit yesterday. And now it's coming off. It was halt after halt after halt after halt that first day. I mean, just like open immediately, halt, higher. That's crazy.
It is.
And
look at the volume,
that's a mispriced IPO.
Yeah, and look at the volume on this. I mean, when it opened up, it only did 1.8 million, right? On yesterday, it only did 7.
I don't know what the float is on it, but one thing that's been going on with IPOs recently, I mean, when you IPO, you're not putting the entire value of the company into shares of stock. They might only be selling off 10%, 5%, and the float may be minuscule. So I don't know what the float is on it, but that could be part of what's going on there too. So anyway.
All right, that makes sense.
That is if you were lucky enough to have that at $4 or when it opened in the teens, then congratulations. Trading that would be there's no way to manage risk.
Exactly. There's no way. And again, you have to, sometimes you take these gambling trades, which you shouldn't, but you do, and they play out. Just know them for what they are. A gamble trade, or you got lucky, right? Just know the difference. Very important. All right, guys, let's stop here. 8:56. I think we got an okay list. Not some of these names I didn't expect to have on here, but that's okay. We'll see how they're going to play out today. Let's go over to our community events. We'll come back and chop this up.
Hang on, man. I am just blocking some Yahoo on. It's trying to spam the chat over on YouTube.
All right, go ahead, man. I'll take.
All right. Yeah. No. He's gone. All right. The Benzinga webinar is posted, and next week we've got Thor's Part 3, trading using pivots. So that should be very interesting. Take a look at that next Tuesday, 8 p.m. I'm sure that'll be a ton. Then the psychology webinar, I believe, is already posted. I think I saw an email about that just a little while ago. And then next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m., you've got Mike doing reestablishing positive mindset after a losing streak. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day. It should obviously have entries and exits, and then put any commentary on the strategy and why you took the trade, so forth. Post it on Twitter, tagging at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT family, day trading and stock market. We'll pick a winner for each day and announce on Twitter for trade of the day. All those will be eligible for trade of the week, which the team will vote on over the weekend and be announced on Twitter on Monday. All right. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you can use the promo code premarket24. That'll get you a discount off that normal $39 price on the 1 week trial. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the chat. Does not auto renew, doesn't turn into anything else. We don't do that to you. You actually got to sign up if you like it and want to be a part of the chat on a longer term basis. It also includes the onboarding classes every Monday night live. And this, I guess I changed the format of the slide a little bit, so my apologies. It's not 0% off an annual elite membership. It's 40% off. So I'll have that fixed for tomorrow, but use the promo code SPRING40 if you'd like to get 40% off an annual elite membership. It's a big deal. 0% off the low price.
Absolutely. I see some people mentioning my camera. Yeah, guys, sorry. It looks like I had to restart my computer, but we were running up against time, so it'll be fixed tomorrow. All right, guys, let's get to our list here, starting with Apple, which has been just amazing the last couple of days. Great day yesterday. Today already they have amazing volume. High of the pre-market at the moment sitting at 129.20.
They actually had a little bit of a negative catalyst. I heard this morning. They're going to have to slow down production of some of their devices because of the chip shortage. So, obviously, I mean, they're green this morning. So that is not winning over the minds of investors to get out of positions or stop buying it, at least.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's for sure. See how that's going to play out.
Usually that production news, whether it's an increase or a decrease, is a pretty decent catalyst, but not today.
Yeah. So we have our high there, 129.20. Above this, we do have 130.69-ish area right on there, so that's good. And then slightly above that, we have a nice one here too, over at 132. You can see here how many touches we have on that one as well. So that's pretty good there also. And then towards the bottom, you could mark down the low of the pre-market, which is this one here, 128.22. But you got some other levels towards the bottom as well. You have your previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days there. Got you covered, so do not need to add any more to that list. Here's HOFV. Now this one's been up nicely, up 11.7 at the moment. Now there's a catalyst with them and also DLPN, which DLPN doesn't always seems to be the one that looks a little bit worse, right? Or not a little bit, it's a lot worse actually. The volume is really not there. It's up 4%, but you don't see the movement that you're getting on HOFB. So this is where the action is at. This part is a little bit dead, so we'll just bring this one down here just in case it does pick up. We can tune into that, but right now I think the action is going to be on HOFV, at least for the way we like to see things. High of the pre-market, 520, so that's very good there. You can see that has a lot of touches as well on wicks and days opening and closing around that price target there. Above that, we do have, I want to say 562. You got some days here opening, closing on here. You have this wick slightly above that by a couple of cents, but I think 562 would be a good one to have on the list. Above this 563, and then here you just can get every top of the wick here in case we're going to do one of these type of run-ups today. We're ready for it. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, previous day closed. You can put your low of your pre-market at 440, mark that on there as well. And that's really all you need on this one. Right now, pre-market action is looking very good, guys. 4.2 million. Look at the setup you're getting here. ABCD pattern after ABCD pattern at the moment. Let's see if they can come back up and test that 520 area there. Here's Mara. Mara's starting to look nice. Got some really good volume here in the last couple of minutes. 625, 49.55. So it's a little bit higher. Where's the high of the pre-market? Oh, very, very early on right here. 49.55. I usually like watching CAN, but they're not looking great today. Mara is definitely the one looking really nice for a possible Bitcoin play this morning. The bottom of this is going to be 47.53. So we'll throw one level there as well, and then below that we do have the previous day close and the low just from yesterday there, giving us a good support area. Towards the top, we have the highs and the lows from the last 2 trading days. That's good there. I don't think you need to add anything more really on this one. So right now, pre-market action is very, very active. Be careful with Mara, guys. This thing can really move 50 to 75 cents easily. So mindful with the number of shares. I know what's the float on them? I know they're not a low flow stock. 91, but yeah, this thing moves. So 91 million shares float, but just again, careful with how many shares you take on this one, and good, only really good type A setups, right? Something that can move like that. 29.51 is good. High of the pre-market here for CCL. It's okay. Let's see if it's going to be strong and test this 30.50 up there, the highs from yesterday. Towards the bottom, the lows from the last 2 trading days plus the previous day close. Low of the pre-market is a little bit lower at 28.70. We'll just throw a level there just in case. But let's see. We definitely seen much greater volume out of CCL. I'm going to mark this level here too, guys. 29.32. I know the pre-market high is here, but we have tons of touches here. We're obviously struggling in the pre-market to get above that. Let's put that on there just in case. LI this morning, high of the pre-market and looking really good here. 23.22. Nice run up so far. 22.41, the low of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, we have the previous day close and the low from yesterday. And then slightly below that, another level here, 21.54. Let's see if he wants to test that, or at least head down in that direction. Right now, not looking much like that. Looking pretty strong at the moment. Above our pre-market high, 23.22. We have one right over here. This is good. 23.56. A couple of days just banging their heads up against this here. Some resistance as well. Some support happening there. A couple of days opening there. So that's pretty good as far as LI this morning. So we'll keep an eye on this one. 1.3 million right now. So the volume is definitely there. And we're getting a nice pre-market action today after a big red day yesterday. A couple of big slamming days down here. Last time we did this, we recovered but we bounced back pretty nice. We have a similar day here. We're going to have the same type of play today. Let's see. Here is Rice. So Rice continues to get going here. 12.60, high of the pre-market. The low of the pre-market all the way down at a 10.52. So this thing is just turning on the gas. It was looking nice and easy here. Now it's just really taking off at the moment. So I'm going to put a level here as well, guys. So you obviously have an area consolidation before the next breakup for the next move up towards that 1260, which looks like we're going to blow right through that. But 1173, I'm going to throw a level there just in case we decide to head back down in the pre-market. What I see here, 1260. Yeah, so not a coincidence that we're having an area of resistance right around some of these wicks here at 1260. The next one above that, you're looking at a 1287. A couple of touches there. Let's just mark these up. 1313 and all the way up here, 1405, just in case we're going to have this type of day, which right now is setting up to look like it's going to be very explosive this morning so far. Here's our possibles. We have DLPN. Again, HOFB is really the one that's looking good right now. We have Microsoft in play also here. We have AMRS as a possible GameStop entertainment stock today, but they actually do have a catalyst. So let's see how that's going to play out. Roku had a good day a couple of days ago. Yesterday, not so much, but today their daily still looks good, guys. So I'm hoping for a nice breakout here if we can get that. Here is Snap, had an amazing day yesterday. Similar start of their pre-market action, looked just like this. They did not have an amazing pre-market action. Volume came in late into the pre-market, if I recall correctly, and look at the explosive day they had. So I will keep an eye on this one for a possible continuation. This might actually move up and become and replace one of these. Let's see, what do we have up here? Oh, these all look good. No, we'll leave it just like that. But that's a top possible there. I'm gonna put it up here so I don't lose sight of it. Yeah, it's a top possible there. And then we have Facebook as well with their amazing daily over the last couple of days. Okay, let's bring over our watch list from our moderators. We have a few on there already, so let's bring that over to the side over here. Okay, here we go. You guys should be able to see that. And we have here Thor is watching LI, Neo, CCL, secondary list, NKLA, Twitter, SQ, and Snap. Dima, she likes Riot, LI, MU, AMD. Brian looking at Box, Mara, XPEF, Billy, and AMRS. And Tiffany's looking at Apple, LI, and Mara. Secondary on her list is CCL this morning. So that is what we have so far. I'm sure the rest of the moderators will come out with their list shortly, and we will take a look at them as they do that. So I want to fine tune this list a little more. I think it's a little bit too long. So Snap is good. DLPN, I'll just get rid of it. I'm probably not going to remember that ticker that is tied into this one. Like when the actual market opens, like, oh, remember that DLPN is one, because it's just not a ticker it's not a household ticker for us, right? Like an Apple, like a Roku, like Nvidia, Microsoft. We know these tickers by heart. If the tech sector goes up, you know what tickers to look for, right? But HOFV's got it going on. Mara is good. We know some other Bitcoin plays out there as well, but this one seems to be the one that's got the action. We know CCL is looking good as far as a travel type play. Let's see, are the airlines doing anything? American Airlines? No, this is pretty dead, guys. I think someone mentioned this earlier as well. If you look at American Airlines, this is not the volume you want to see. The last couple of days, they've really just been doing not a whole lot. Their pre-market action gets some really good volume. I'm talking about 1.2, easily 1.5 when they are going to be very active. We're not seeing that here. LI we have on here, so this is looking good. Nice rejection down to the VWAP, trying to get a little bit of a bounce here. And then Rice continues to explode. 1287 is the next level we have. Looks like we're about to get to that. Well, pretty much there. And then after that, we're going to get to 1313. So a lot of fun action happening there on Rice as we see it here. All right. And then our secondary list, Snap is good. Microsoft is good. AMRS, this is okay. Actually started to close the gap already, as we spoke earlier. Low of the pre-market was 15.33. So they're closing this gap here up towards the previous day close. GameStop Entertainment, Roku, and Facebook. So okay, and then our two low floats down here, IMMP. Yeah, it's just, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm just not sure about that one. And then we have this is a 1.2 if I remember correctly. So again, it's just, we have it here. It is a low flow stock in play, but please be careful trading this stuff. All right. Just the pre-market highs already at 33. This thing is started at 12.53 this morning. So careful with that. All right, so Peter's reporting no SPAC or IPOs for today. Non-SPAC IPOs for today. So meaning there's no regular common stocks being IPO today. There might be some SPACs that open up on a regular basis, it looks like. John is coming in. He's looking at the high of day breakout watch list. As usual, he likes Facebook today, which actually has been very strong. And yeah, so things are looking good. Dan, welcome, new BBT member. Glad that you're happy to be here. We're happy that you are here as well. Welcome to the community. Okay, guys, so that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe and like. We really appreciate it. You guys being with us this morning. We know you have options to go other places, but thank you for being with us as we prepare a watch list every morning. So take care, guys. Stay safe. Happy Thursday. Tonight we have Thor's mentorship session at 8 p.m. So do not miss it. That's in the Success webinar. So if you're an elite member, you can get access to that. Definitely do not miss out on that. We'll see you there at 8 a.m. And if not, at 8 p.m., excuse me, we'll see you tomorrow here at 8 a.m. starting with Engineering the Markets with Jared to get your day going, and then followed by Norm and I for the pre-market prep. Take care, guys. Brian and Andrew are up next. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, and maybe if next week we'll do it again. I had to talk to Norm. Maybe next week we'll go live again like we did yesterday. Give you guys an insight of how our community is and how we do some of our trading. Take care, guys. Trade safe, and see you all tomorrow.